while I was eating breakfast, I saw just out of the corner of my eye, title thing that said "Perfect Storm," and I was like, "Oh, I haven't seen Perfect Storm in a minute." Like, it's the boat movie with George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Okay, cool." And I'm eating my breakfast, and I look up and I see a racetrack and a racing car, and I'm like, "I don't remember this being the beginning of Perfect Storm. That's interesting." And it's like, this accident happens, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, well, maybe it's like this is like a backstory that I never got before. Like, it's been a long time since I really watched this movie from beginning to end, and I was like, maybe this is why they're on the boat. Someone's on the boat,
Yeah.
and they don't like cars anymore. And then it goes, into the next sequence, and then I see Vin Diesel, and I'm like, Vin Diesel isn't. Wait, what? And he's working on a car too. And I'm like, wait, what the? Is there another movie called Perfect Storm with Vin Diesel and another car? And he's in another car movie. I'm like, what is happening? And then, Michelle Rodriguez comes up. I'm like, what is? They're in 2 movies about cars. What is happening? They're like, other than the Fast franchise. And then I see on his shirt it says, what's his fucking character's name? Totoro, whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Was it Hobbs and Shaw?
No, I was like, it was a Fast movie. It was a Fast and Furious movie. I checked. I checked my guide, Sleed Guy, and I was like, I think it was Fast 9 or something. F9. The one with John Cena who does an F5 in the ring. Anywho, I just put that together. But I was sitting there, I'm like, what the hell? Why did I see Perfect Storm? Like, I literally saw a title card, Perfect Storm. I was like, wait a second. I wonder if there's a production company called Perfect Storm. And lo and fucking behold, Justin Lin, the director of that movie, started a fucking production company called Perfect Storm. Not a Perfect Storm or anything. Perfect Storm.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, cool. That was a strange ass goddamn journey I went. I was like, what is happening? I thought my brain was melting. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to share that fun story. It's like, just imagine that where my brain, I'm not even like thinking like, oh, this is a Fast and Furious movie. It's just, they're in another fucking movie with cars.
Yeah.
That's not the Fast franchise. What is happening? And then be like, oh no, this is the Fast franchise. Everybody calm down in my brain. No one is with me. Everybody calm down. Yeah. But I just wanted to share that with you and lovely people out there, just to get a little journey into how my brain goes. You want to do the connection thing first, and then we'll lead into it?
Sure. Did you have one?
I do. Okay, so last week we did John Cleese to Don Cheadle. Did you find one?
No.
Okay. I had to reach deep into my depths, and actually it wasn't until I was rewatching just clips from Harry Potter that I remembered this. John Cleese is in Harry Potter 1 and 2, Philosopher's Stone, or Sorcerer's Stone.
He's
the
nearly
ghost
head in this Nick. I forgot about
with
that.
Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe is in Goblet of Fire with Brendan Gleeson, and Brendan Gleeson is in The Guard with Don Cheadle.
Yeah, I got stuck on the Charlie's Angels thing.
Charlie's Angels?
Yeah, John Cleese is in Charlie's Angels as
Full Throttle.
As Lucy Liu's dad.
That's funny.
And I was like, that would be a fun connection.
Yeah.
Because people, I'm sure, forget that John Cleese had that little bit part, that joke with...
I'm sure you could have done that through Colin Farrell and
with
Cameron Diaz or Lucy Liu.
What the fuck is Matt LeBlanc?
Oh, God, yeah.
That's what I was trying to I was like, let's make this as weird as possible. And I couldn't figure it out.
But yeah, John Cleese, Don Cheadle. Done. If you guys got a closer one, let us know.
How many is that?
Radcliffe to Gleeson to Cheadle. So
3.
2. Because it's
yeah.
outside middle. 2. All right. A little long intro. This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's Mixtape.
There there's a lot of things I want to quote from this movie, but I should not.
I mean, you can bleep it.
I don't even feel comfortable saying a lot of that shit anymore.
And then you could put like a candy cane over your mouth so people can't like read your lips.
I think one of the best, like, there's that it's becoming a popular like video meme right now, and that's him with the kid in the car. Is it what are you fucking with me?
Yeah, welcome back. Happy holidays, everyone. We're doing another Christmas movie. Kind of leaning into the adult Christmas.
Very hard, this one, yeah.
So
we didn't confirm what we were going to do next week, so I guess we'll figure that out afterwards.
Yes. We don't know next week. But this week we decided to do Bad Santa. And let's start off. Did you like it?
I used to.
Yeah, this is pretty rough. I see what was attempting to be done, and I think it could have been done really, really, really well. But
that's not the identity of the film, though.
Well, because of the fact if the Coen brothers had continued and it became more of a Coen brothers movie, I think that would have.
From what I was reading, they added more of the raucous humor in it than the original.
Okay,
script.
Doesn't change it, but I'm saying like from
if they would have directed it, maybe.
Yeah, like if it was more of their DNA in the thing,
like almost like a Raising Arizona style.
It would have
maybe.
been
But the weird
better.
thing is about this is that I don't. It's like, my biggest thing is I don't think it aged well.
Well, no, it's okay. So. Bad Santa, released November 26, 2003.
What's it about?
Is a raunchy, very incredibly raunchy comedy.
Very dark comedy.
About a vile, alcoholic safecracker who cons his way as being a small Santa with a partner to rob department stores.
Malls.
Yeah, department stores.
Yeah.
So that's the idea. So the idea is that him and
the heist idea is actually really clever.
Yeah. So him and his friend go in, or a partner, not friend, really. Him and his partner go in. He dresses up as Santa, and then his friend, who's a little person, dresses up as an elf, and they go and they scope out these malls and department stores, and then become infused with the employees so they can get in there after hours and take all the money from the safe and steal consumer goods and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And yeah, it didn't age well. It wasn't particularly funny anymore.
There were funny moments still, like funny things that were said.
And Billy Bob Thornton definitely has a type of comedic timing. It's particular.
It is. Well, and I will say Billy Bob's performance in this is actually...
I mean, Billy Bob, you can say what you want about the guy, but he's a good actor. He always has been.
Yeah.
He's not everyone's cup of tea because he has this kind of grimy, slick, sneaky kind of vibe to him a lot of the time. But
yeah, I mean, he plays that very well.
Yeah,
but he also, Sling Blade, but... before we get into that, do we want to do our other stuff?
Yeah.
You're really off track today.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
You didn't go to bed till very early this morning.
Did you not fall asleep till?
I was tossing and turning. I had to work late last night, so I'm still...
Coffee didn't do shit for you, huh?
Not yet.
Okay, well, let's get into the behind the scenes and this, and then we'll get into this stuff and whatnot. Really quick for 2003. This came out on my birthday, 2003, by the way.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. How many movies? 2003.
58.
I was like 41-ish.
I just made a note though too that I had seen the first 14.
I think I was like the first 12. No. Out of the 14, I'd seen 12.
I was like, oh, like I saw that. I was like, oh, that's a good streak there.
I did find it amusing. I looked up the box office. Domestically, it was number 48. I mean, it was a big hit for like when it came out, but obviously not like this is the number one hit. But worldwide, it dropped down to number 70.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But okay, so this was directed by a guy named Terry Zwigoff, who most well known for directing is probably the movie Ghost World with Scarlett Johansson and I forget her name from American Beauty, which is a great movie, by the way. I can see why they chose him for this film with like the outcast type character as the anti-hero idea.
Thora Birch,
thank you. And then a documentary about this guy named Crumb, or it's called Crumb. I forget the guy's first name, but we talked about him a decent amount on first season, way back when we talked about a banter on adult cartoons, because he created Fritz the Cat.
Right. Okay.
And Swigoff was part of that crew of underground counterculture artists.
Yeah.
So he kind of has that background. And then with that, there's a movie that I really want to watch that he directed, and I think co-wrote, or no, same director or same writer from Ghost World, Art School Confidential. Has John Malkovich in it. And a couple other people that made me seem, yeah. But yeah, he seemed like a very good fit for directing this. But I mean, he hasn't done anything else really.
Not really, no. I
mean, I saw he supported to have Roman Polanski released from prison. And I was like, maybe that's what ended your career. God damn it. Okay, so our writers are Glenn Ficarra and John Requa, who we have talked about.
We have in episode 141. I Love You, Philip Morris.
Yes. Excuse me.
Also known for Bad News Bears. Also the remake.
The remake one with Billy Bob Thornton.
And more recently, Jungle Cruise, which I actually enjoyed.
I didn't see it actually.
It's a Disney ride.
Yeah.
It
is a Disney ride.
I know, but it plays.
I know.
And then executive producers on a more recent TV show called Rabbit Hole, which sounded kind of interesting.
I think you brought it up last time we talked about I Love You, Philip Morris. So it sounds like it, but yeah, as you were talking about, like in the background of this movie, the Coen brothers kind of created the idea, and then they like asked Ficarra and Requa to write it, and then they worked on the script and they shopped it around. I think it was Dimension, but I read that it was turned down by every studio. Actually, let me just pull up the Wikipedia thing.
I have the quote right here.
It is? Okay, cool. Yep, go for it.
Universal rejected the final draft for being the foulest, disgusting, misogynistic, anti-Christmas, anti-children thing we could ever imagine. So that made Bob Weinstein over at Miramax go, we'll take it.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, how fucking fitting.
Shocking. But yeah, Universal went, no, absolutely not. And then Miramax was like, let's go.
Yep.
Party time.
But apparently there's like 3 different versions of this movie. The one that we watched, there's the unrated version, which is like another 10, 15 minutes longer. And then the director's cut, which was Zwigoff's one, and it's actually 2.5 minutes shorter than the one we watched.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I'm but you can only get that on like DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah. I'd watch the unrated one.
The unrated one, just to see how much more.
No, just to know what that fucking scene is where he comes in all fucked up.
Oh, if that is in there?
Yeah,
that was
it is
speculation.
Yeah, I mean, that is. It's got to be in the unrated one.
It doesn't necessarily, because the idea of him being just such a drunk that it's.
I'll bet you $20 is in the unrated one.
You don't have to. I'm just saying. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not because of the character.
I'd be very surprised. That looked like bad editing to me.
It was bad editing because they reused the same shot at the very beginning of the movie as the cut of the eye, and doesn't have to cut the eye at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Who's in this movie again?
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
He plays Willie, or a.k.a. Santa. Not Santa.
Bad Santa.
The bad Santa.
Yep, Billy Bob Thornton. Who we've never done before.
We have?
We haven't. I said.
Oh, we haven't.
Sling Blade. I was introduced to Billy Bob Thornton with Sling Blade at way too young of an age. That movie is very dramatic and very strange. Also, I didn't know that was directed by Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
He's in Love Actually. Since we're in Christmas time.
He's a president,
He's
isn't
a
he?
president, yeah.
United States.
I like those random ass cameo, like Billy Bob Thornton, Jack Nicholson. Like,
Yeah.
who are we gonna get your president? And then you get people that are like, I don't see it, but sure. Ice Harvest, which I actually want to add to next year's Christmas,
Yeah.
because that's a dark Christmas comedy. It's a great movie.
Okay.
Bad
I put
News Bears.
Monsters Ball because everyone talks about Monsters Ball, and that's like one of his like highly acclaimed movies as well. You know, I've never seen it.
I haven't either.
I know him and Halle Berry have a
What's
very intense intimate
scene?
scene.
What's the? And he's got a new show, Landman.
Landman.
He's
But
a
I
Landman.
keep making fun of every time I see the name Landman.
Landman. But yeah, he's in a new show.
Who do you got next?
Tony Cox,
Yeah, so I got.
who plays Marcus, who is our con man, who plays the elf.
This is the 4th movie we've done with him in it.
I know. I noticed that too.
I thought that was crazy.
I only wrote down 3. What's the 4th?
So I wrote down Willow,
Yes.
Beetlejuice,
Yes.
Blade Runner,
Yes.
and Hebrew Hammer.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then I wrote down Me, Myself, Irene, and Friday,
Yeah.
and Blank Man, which I didn't know he was in that.
Have you seen Blank Man?
No, we do this every
I
time.
know, but we just have to watch it. We have to
I'm
watch it.
so uninterested.
You will be the entire time, but I'm going to force you to watch it.
Okay.
anyway.
But yeah, Tony Cox. Been around.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting because looking through his list, I was like, that's why I've seen so many movies he's been in, actually. I mean, he's always just like a minor role
Yeah.
most of the time, but it's just like, that's like, no wonder I fucking reckon it. He's like in fucking everything I've seen.
He's actually kind of the funniest thing about this movie.
Yeah,
to
really.
me at least.
Yeah.
Just calling Willie out on his bullshit.
Yeah.
Is just a fun. It's an easy.
Can you get your shit together?
It's an easy comedic thing to do. You know, like a tool to use.
Yeah.
You know, but it works. That's why they have it, and people do it. You know, but he was funny. I had next Lauren Graham, who plays Sue, who's got some issues.
Sue is broken.
Sue. I still can't. That whole scene when she meets Willie and she's just like enamored with him. I was just like, he does. Like, I don't know what it is, but Billy Bob Thornton, like,
There's just
something about him that is like
that
he's
slime
got
ball. Like, I don't
animal
give a shit character.
animal magnetism. Like people just like it's because for context, when we watched it, I was telling Jacob, I was like, it's funny because in these movies, you know, you have your main character and then it's the trope where all the women are just falling over him, whether it be like something like this, which is like a raunchy comedy, or like a Bond movie, you know. But it's when Sue and Willie meet, she's doing that very tropey, like obviously really into him, hasn't yet really explained why she is, but I just thought it was funny because Billy Bob Thornton, if you know anything about his dating history, has dated some of the biggest starlets of the time.
Yeah.
And he's got something. The dude's got something.
He's got charisma.
I just find it really funny.
I don't know.
I don't know. He's got something.
But Lauren Graham is in Gilmore Girls is Lorelai, Mother Gilmore, which blew my freaking mind.
Why?
Because I've never watched Gilmore Girls.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
I like Gilmore Girls.
And I was just sitting there. I was like, wait, the Santa fucker is the mom in Gilmore Girls?
I wonder how that aged.
Gilmore Girls?
Yeah. I wonder if that's like worth a rewatch. A friend of mine's mom was really into it, so it was always playing, and it was one of those kind of over the years accidentally watched a lot. I never actually really remember sitting down and watching it. I remember enjoying it, but I wonder if it's I don't know.
It seemed like a very wholesome mother-daughter broken home with good guy, not stepfather, but
I just remember Rory becoming insufferable, but I can't remember why.
Because she's probably a teenage girl.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's what the thing I wrote down because that's just the thing I know her most for. And I looked at her list, and there's some movie titles I recognize, but I couldn't tell you who she was in it.
Yeah, same. I was just kind of like, I was just blown away that because I'd never seen it, and like I just imagine someone be like, "Oh, Lorelai's in this movie, honey. Let's watch this."
She's like Santa.
Like, oh wow,
Okay.
that took a turn. I got Brett Kelly, the kid,
Thurman Merman,
who has done a handful of things. The only thing I think I would ever recognize him from, and I don't remember him in it, is Trick or Treat.
As soon as I read that, I knew who he was. He's one of the kids that goes down into the quarry.
Oh, okay.
But
I don't fully remember that movie very well.
And unaccompanied minors.
Yeah.
It's the terminal for kids.
On Halloween in a horror movie.
What?
Wait, what? You said unaccompanied kids?
The movie Unaccompanied
Oh, there's
Minors.
a movie called Unaccompanied. I thought you were quoting.
It's the terminal, but for children. It's like
okay.
Christmas kids get stuck in an airport and shenanigans. You know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. We're kids. We're all.
And then our last two that I think we should definitely mention is John Ritter, who plays Bob.
Small role.
Who passed away in 2003, but
the movie's actually dedicated in living memory to him.
At the end of it, this was like one of his last things before he suddenly passed away.
Heart attack. Yeah.
8 Simple Rules is the big thing I wrote down.
Oh yeah, that was his 90s, 2000s one that he was filming. But I mean, Three's Company is kind of like his big.
Oh yeah, Three's Company. That's what it's called. I just got something in my eye.
I was about to ask if you're okay.
Yeah, just got.
Want me to smack it out of you?
No. And anything else?
Bernie Mac.
Well, yeah, I meant for John.
No, let's just do these.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Bernie Mac, who played Jin, who was the security guard for the mall. It's Bernie Mac.
Small role. He's really funny with it.
Yeah, I mean Bernie Mac's just funny.
He is. Yeah. I love how he's like constantly doing something like obnoxious with his mouth.
Yeah.
Every single scene he's in.
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially with John Ritter. Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
You want to take a break and wash your eye?
No, I'm good. I'll get there. Okay.
I also really quick shout out Lauren Tom, who plays, what's Tony Cox's character's name?
Marcus.
Marcus.
Is it Marcus? I think it's Marcus, right? Let me just double check that. Where are you? Where's the right page?
Well, he's the wife.
Yeah, Marcus.
Yeah, he's or she's his wife. Lauren Tom, Julie from Friends, for Ross's first girlfriend. The first complication with Rachel.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Right.
Wow. I didn't realize that. It's like now I see it. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, and then Grandma?
Oh yeah. Cloris.
I'm totally blanking on her name right
Fabrica.
now.
Cloris Leachman.
Yes. All right. You need to give us our scores and then.
So
Octavia Spencer. Oh, she was the hooker.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Right. I was like, wait a minute. She's in the.
God damn it, Willie. Last time I came over, I couldn't shit right for a week.
Yeah. You and your freaky ass.
Even in the goddamn fucking dressing room, he's like, yeah, you're not going to shit right for a week. Like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, I didn't really need you to repeat that, let alone twice. But thank you so much for that.
It's the beauty of the movie.
Yeah.
Which, weirdly, that beauty rang very true in 2003. Because this movie has really good reviews.
It's crazy. I was like, oh, maybe it'll be offensive, but kind of like a diamond in the rough and really clever. And I was just like, I don't get it.
The offensiveness is what people were raving about at the time, which is why I don't think it would be anywhere near well received today.
Well, because it's actually kind of funny. On that note, because of the fact I don't think it's clever. You can be offensive and clever. I hate
South Park.
Monty Python.
Yeah.
Like from what I was just watching was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is really offensive, but it's pretty cleverly written. That's an interesting line.
Because it's more pointing out out a glaringly troubled thing with an offensive thing.
Or pointing out its hypocrisy or whatever, like making a statement. This isn't really making any kind of statement.
No.
This is just being vulgar to be vulgar.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there reading the reviews thinking, this is going to be, I'm excited. This is going to be interesting to watch and go back to this time and was like, oh, nope, never mind. So continue.
Yeah, because on IMDb, it's got a 7.0. On Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 78 tomato meter and then a 75 popcorn rating. I even tried to do a deep dive on this movie in retrospect, and maybe people just haven't written anything about it in the last over decade.
20 years.
Well, no, because I read something from 2013 about how this movie's become became a underdog Christmas cult classic type thing. And I was just kind of like, what the hell, man?
Well, the first one has a 70. The second one has a 38.
Okay.
So.
Well, why don't you get into the reviews and then we'll talk about the absurdity of this film and the time that it came from.
So on Metacritic, this has a 70, which I actually can't remember last one we did that was that high.
Fair, yeah.
I just want to do a quick little look-sees because I'm just really curious. Cocoon had a 65. That's...
Wow.
Oh, here we go. The others had a 74. So that was October
Halloween.
1st.
Yeah.
Is when we recorded that. So it's been a minute. But anyways, so this is a 70, which is generally favorable, with 27 positive reviews, 7 mixed, and 4 negative. It's kind of crazy. So for the tip top, with a 90 at the AV Club by Scott Tobias, much like... this is cool. This is crazy. All right, ready? Ready yourself. Much like School of Rock... Bad Santa salvages a tired paint-by-numbers formula by resisting it every step of the way, stubbornly refusing to stop its juvenile fun until the last possible moment. How dare you?
They're not wrong.
They're not right, though.
No, because they're not looking at what's being said in the film. They're looking at the structure of the character and the redemption journey, I think, is what it's saying to me. And
I don't.
Because I will say, this movie, regardless of how unfunny we were really finding it when we were watching it, there's nothing structurally wrong with this film.
I mean, I think the ending is kind of Looney Tunes.
Yeah, but that's...
But so is the ending of School of Rock.
Yeah, so is the ending to most movies like this.
Well, especially this era. It's granted, it was for... He learned his lesson, but he still kidnapped a busload of children.
It's like the end of any Adam Sandler movie,
Yeah. I guess.
But...
but at its core, though, I just think it's a weird comparison, because at its core...
They're very two different identity films.
Well, yeah, because there's actually, to me, there's a lesson learned and there's heart to School of Rock. And even to this day, School of Rock is still funny.
Yeah.
Even though it is aged and it is still in this kind of weird little spot in that era where the plot, where people had movie magic was still running around,
The biggest thing is that Jack Black's character is likable. Billy Bob Thornton in this is very unlikable.
Vile, yeah.
But they're both burnt out anti-heroes on a rise, learning to become better people through children.
Yeah.
That's the structure and the the heart.
I did write down Ebert liked it.
I know, which
Ebert gave it an 88 and said a demented, twisted, unreasonably funny work of comic kamikaze style, starring Billy Bob Thornton as Santa in a performance that's defiantly uncouth.
Yeah, it's weird. Is I saw that one specifically, and I'm like, it's not wrong. It's just it's a reflection of 2003 and that era, and how this just raunchy. Can we take it to the next level? Gross humor, vulgar humor.
Yeah, it's potty humor.
Yeah, and this is at the time when South Park wasn't very as clever as they are now.
Yeah,
this kind of humor is just raging at this moment, So of course, yeah, for a movie that actually has like a coherent story and like actual building blocks of like, it doesn't go off kilter into like more like a super ridiculous thing like an American Pie movie does.
Well, even a lot of the reviews too are talking about the this being the anarchist Christmas movie.
It's like super anti-Christmas movie that still has Christmas movie elements.
But that's the thing, though, is like I was gonna say what I was saying is that it doesn't. It's not really. That goes back to the clever thing. It's not taking the spirit of Christmas and flipping it and doing anything with it. It happens to take place because this is their con. So it's not taking the consumeristic idea and really making a fun commentary about it.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. I just feel like for a lot of these reviews, and again, I'm not going to go into a lot of them, but a lot of them made that comment basically
that it was doing that.
Yeah, that for those that don't like the Christmas spirit and it's like I get the idea,
shallow,
but it's not making a commentary on the consumeristic nature of Christmas, or it's not making any commentary. So I didn't really see, and I just didn't see what these people were seeing because I don't know. It was one of those that happens to take place during Christmas because that's their con. This is what they do. Is every year they do this con, they live off of it, and the next year they do it again.
I mean, the only thing that I would say that how it takes the Christmas idea and flips it on its head is it holds those elements of like a traditional, a Christmas story. It's an unlikable character finding redemption through their journey. It strangely is about family or finding a family because Willie finds a family with Thurman, really friendship of family, and even Marcus and whatnot. There's a weird extension of that. I mean, obviously, it's around Christmas, which needs to be for a Christmas story, a Christmas time. And really, there's really no magical in the movie, except for maybe the fact that he's alive with the amount of liquor he still drinks.
Yeah, and the syphilis and
yeah.
Well, no, I mean I guess my point is that you can, and I'm not going to argue about it, but you can take the Christmas element out of this, and you could make a movie that was basically the same thing, because you could have made it
the Easter Bunny,
the kid's birthday, and he's just a con man that finds out this kid has a father that's on a trip, lo and behold, in jail, and he's using the kid as like a lay low spot, and then ends up creating a relationship with the kid. You could put a lot of the same elements in there, him getting bullied and him beating up the bullies, and you know what I mean?
I mean, that's like hundreds of different other movies as well already.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
It's like that's the lack of commentary on the Christmas element, so it's not
the consumeristic thing, yes, but I would the Christmas is an integral part of this movie.
But I think you can take it out because like you can make the movie work. I just don't think it's important. I think the Christmas thing, it goes back into the Coen brothers kind of. I see something here that could have been actually really interesting and maybe even become a cult classic stand of time for me, but it just wasn't there. For the mixed, we had a 50 at LA Weekly by Scott Fondas. Gets stuck in a rut. Hearing Santa say, blank, put a bleep in here. I don't know. It doesn't say.
Kick him in the balls or something. I don't know. Just keep me out of it.
Isn't nearly as funny the 50th time as it is the first 49.
Yeah.
And then I did put a note. See, J.R. Jones. What did J.R. Jones say?
I don't know. J.R., tell us.
Chicago reader J.R. Jones, who gave it also 50. Joel and Ethan Coen wrote the story, using the ancient gag of the toxic Santa as a vehicle for their patented brand of misanthropy. Swigoff and company wringing some laughs out of it, though the tone is uniformly mean and vulgar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were people at that time that were seeing it.
Yeah.
But again, it's like, I think the reason why at the time it got, and I could see because of that, some people having nostalgia with it. I thought I was going to have some nostalgia with it, but
nah.
it was depressing. Like, really,
Well, that's what it is. It's vulgar and mean.
Yeah. Well, the vulgarity and the meanness, I was like, that would just kind of made me cringe now. I was like, wow, this is just really a reflection of 2003 and how really nobody gave a shit about what people were saying, really. Like, yeah. But I think for me, the excessive drinking and this strange glorification of Willie's alcoholism, it was just kind of, that's what really dispirited me. And I think it's because our recent lively things and me been trying to like step away from drinking as much, like watching him drink like that, it was just kind of giving me flashbacks.
Was it? I mean, that's your take on it, but I didn't feel like it was glorifying his drinking.
Because he's the hero. He's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
But he's our main character. He's our hero. And maybe not glorifying it necessarily. Maybe romanticizing it is a better way to put it, because it was kind of like it. Like I remember watching this in 2003 and thinking, he's just a drunk. That's funny. He pissed himself. God, what a wacky dude, you know?
Yeah.
Now that I'm 38 years old and I've experienced alcoholism and, you know, and I've seen struggle and I've seen friends struggle with it and so forth, I'm just like, this is actually Billy Bob Thornton. Great depiction, man. You're doing a great job, but this is depressing. Like, this is hard to watch. I was sitting there the entire time. I was like, man, I didn't want to watch Leaving Las Vegas because of this.
Huh. It's actually kind of going into it with that mindset makes it better.
Knowing how fucking alcoholic he is?
No, just the mindset of, like, you know, you kind of go into this expecting it's going to be like a raunchy 2003 anti-Christmas comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go into that, it's more of a dark, dramatic comedy about an alcoholic learning. You know what I mean?
That would have been the good Coen Brothers movie right there.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, Coen Brothers could have taken this and made it a very dark comedy with some funny things in it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I see what's kind of in there, but because it is going this South Park lane, this early South Park lane of just, I'm Hanky, whatever turd, whatever the fuck he is. I don't know South Park very well.
The Christmas Pooh.
The Christmas Pooh, you know, when it's kind of doing that. And I'm not a South Park fan. I see what it does, and I give credit where credit's due.
You would probably like newer South Park, but
I tried the South Park thing, and it just never clicked for me very much. There's some bits, obviously, but South Park, I don't get it.
excuse me.
I'm not intelligent enough, I'm sure.
That's definitely not what it is.
That's what they fucking say. You just don't get it, man. Just don't get it. Negative.
Oh, you still have more. Jesus.
Yeah, every time we've gone on a tangent. 30 at TV Guide magazine by Ken Fox. The screenplay just isn't funny. Most jokes fall flat and just lie there in a pool of their own sick. And while Swigoff, was that what? Swigoff's deadpan pacing was perfect for the wry, sophisticated humor of Ghost World. Here, it is a comedy killer. That extra beat after each new outrage is just long enough for viewers to realize just how sad and disturbing it all is.
Yeah. And what's weird is just like, I think just like at this time, America is just in a really dark place as well, you know, as post 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think like people at this time they were tired of the happy fucking go lucky shit, and this is the era of the anti-hero, you know.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for a movie like this to come out of it and be, you know, regarded with such esteem. But that's again, like, it's such a reflection of the early 2000s that 20 years later, it doesn't hit the same. It's sad. It's depressing. But again, like I said, the story beats are all there. Nothing about this movie isn't unsensical, you know?
Wait, who is in his hotel room?
What do you mean? Oh, breaking in?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to cover that, dude.
I just realized, like, wait, who is that?
Someone probably just broke in.
But she's like, it looks like a cop. And it's like, well, what do you mean looks like a cop? Is it a cop or is it not a cop? What do you mean looks like a cop? Like, is it a guy in a suit? Okay, great. Is it a guy wearing a police uniform? Like, what do you mean it looks like a cop? Because I don't know, in New York movies, cops and Italian mob look pretty similar a lot of the time. You know, Donnie Brasco. He's got a mustache and then he don't got a mustache.
Jesus.
Once he's a made man, he's got to get rid of the mustache because made men don't have mustache.
I mean, I get you sure. I mean, are you trying to think of like something that they didn't like fill the
no?
loose
It's
end
just
with?
you're like when you were saying it's nonsensical. I mean, there's no.
There's nothing nonsensical.
There's
about
nothing nonsensical about it. It's to me, it's kind of the whole thing is pretty nonsensical, but because it's all nonsensical, it kind of, you know, the drone gets kind of muffled out.
The biggest thing is kind of this dichotomy between the moral and the immoral. And in a way, it kind of shows that the people that are the moral side, the nice people, John Ritter's character specifically, as a good example, don't really have the gumption to stand up to the crass harshness of Willie, you know?
Well, yeah, because it's also a rule follower versus a non-conformist.
That's what. Yeah, the moral versus the immoral.
So he just doesn't know because his brain doesn't even go into not conforming and following these rules, but also just simple human decency.
Yeah.
To not do certain things because it doesn't even cross his mind. So when he is presented with the unfathomable thing, he doesn't know. It's a robot that the algorithm is now
like
there.
John Ritter's like, you said, how do you...
you know, he just...
Were you fornicate? What, for a what?
Okay. See, I'm actually... It's weird. Usually, like, I get to a point, like, around this part of the
What about my equipment?
We're like, halfway
my
through.
fuck stick?
We're halfway through it, and I'm usually getting to more of a solid ground of where I stand on the movie, but this one is going the exact opposite. Because of when, again, like I was saying, when you think of it more as kind of like a dramedy, more drama, once you lean into the depressing nature of it,
yeah,
and you really go in, like if you were to watch this with the idea of this is gonna be depressing, then you might find it funny.
Yeah,
like what you just said, the fuck stick thing. He's zoning off.
He's so fucking loaded,
staring at a woman's ass
that
he doesn't even hear the conversation. And then what does he say? Equipment.
No.
What is he
performance?
Say? Performance.
It's going to affect your performance.
And that's why it's funny and it's depressing. Because if you've been around someone, or you yourself included, that has struggled with alcohol or alcoholism, that's a really kind of real thing.
It's very real. Yeah.
And so now I'm like kind of looking back and being like, actually, this movie's kind of great for that depiction. Like,
that's like Billy Bob Thornton's performance and the way they wrote this alcoholic is actually really fucking good.
So it's like I kind of feel like I just went in with the wrong mindset on what this movie was gonna be, because I'm like, it may, and I don't know. Like now I'm thinking about, well, I now want to go back and like, I always mean to do this. I never think about it until the moment. I want to really need to get better about looking at the trailers to see what were they presenting to the public of what this is going to be.
This Christmas.
Yeah. Jingle bell, jingle bell rock.
When you don't think it can get any darker. God damn it, smacks her ass.
Santa is coming to town, and then shows him in the...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, what were they presenting to the people?
I'm on my fucking lunch break.
See, then that's, or even like when they after the fornication and they're gonna fire him, and then he turns to Tony Marcus, and it starts turning into, you're gonna fire the black little person, and you're gonna have 100 of these little fuckers, and it's just like, and you're like, this is, again, vile.
Yeah.
But it's a funny...
We're also laughing about it right now, too.
No, because it's also like he's got his drunk deadpan, and then we go back into Bob's character.
Yeah.
Bob, and him not able to compute.
Yeah.
what to do
like,
because
how about we just pretend this conversation never happened?
Because he's never met a more vile, disgusting person in his life that has no human decency.
Well, even like the guy that comes up to the door is like, yeah, the Christmas lights we're gonna put on and he's like, we're what? No, we're Muslim. We're not gonna do that shit or whatever. And he's like, oh, look, dude, come on, man. This is like my first year doing this. Can you? Fine, well, fuck. It's like that person even doesn't really like. He has a little bit of gumption, but he's still very. Oh, let's try to do a good thing. You know what I mean? It's just And Bernie Mac's character is also dirty, rotten scoundrel.
Yeah, I know. I'm now very conflicted about the whole thing because I don't know.
I really think the vulgarity of 2003, all of that
is a detriment.
The misogynisticness of it. Lorelei's character, what's her name again? Sue. She's not a complex character.
No, she's
really got a Santa kink.
But I mean, and credit where credit's due that she immediately after the whole thing is like, it's got to be some kind of deep seated child trauma. She like knows immediately. Yeah, she's like, yeah, my dad didn't.
Most people in the service industry are aware of why they're broken. They just let it keep. They just don't fix it.
They just wear it on their sleeve.
Yeah.
You know? I appreciated that, but yeah, she's just kind of just a vessel for Billy Bob Thornton to, I think, also to give Willie a
sounding board,
of purpose
for his emotional growth.
Yeah, like an anchor as opposed to him just hooking up with a bunch of randos.
Yeah, and that's also an important thing is like that his relationship with the kid, Thurman. Your name's fucking Thurman Merman. Like this kid just like a goddamn fungus attaches himself to him. And for the betterment of his character. But that's the thing is that he learns how to care for someone, but he doesn't change much of anything about himself. I guess it's like, well, I cracked the safe. Oh, fuck, I've got to go get the Christmas gift for the kid. This minute amount of growth. Is it really...
Well, yeah, because he cared about someone, but he still went up and beat up the, what I call him, the Sum 41.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds?
No, David Sawa.
Devin Sawa, Sum 41 Devin Sawa.
Sum 41 Devin Sawa. And it's like, okay, like, and that's kind of it too. That's what you kind of go back to what you're saying about the anti-hero thing. You know, it feels like you're supposed to have beat up those bullies for messing with your kid. And it's like, well, number one, it's not his kid.
Yeah.
Let's be clear about that. He is a criminal
that has
broken into this dude's house. He's participating in child endangerment with this child that he's defending.
Yeah.
And then he goes and beats up these teenagers, and you're kind of, maybe now it's just more of a level-headed of like fuck with them, but don't beat the living shit out of them.
Yeah, it's interesting because like
that's the lunacy of it, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, things like this happen more often than we fucking know, really. But it's this representation. He's kind of like unwanted. No, like he doesn't want it. What is the word I'm looking for? Like he doesn't want something. Like if someone doesn't want
reluctant.
Reluctant. Thank you.
Okay.
He's like this reluctant champion for the stepped on.
Yeah.
For people in general, for the stepped on in general. For
who else?
You know, like kind of for thieves, for people like him. You know, alcoholics. He's this reluctant champion. The idea of his character is what I'm saying. Not.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also like, see, but that would make the movie a little bit better if that was more of a representation of who he was. He's very look out for the one and only.
Yeah, but he's like forced into this reluctant. That's what I'm saying, because he looks out for number one, but what does he end up doing? He ends up helping out the kid. He ends up.
Kid's pretty pathetic.
God damn. God, that snot on the face, so gross.
Well, even when they brought that back, I was like, you did that gag.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't need it again. You know, like, I don't know. I just thought that was a weird thing to bring back around.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it might have been them just reusing a cut.
I think so.
Because if they did that a handful of times through this movie.
I think they did.
So, which kind of makes me wonder, again, director's cut versus the unrated version versus this version as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I really am like thinking if you kind of go into this movie with the idea of kind of in the realm of the ref.
I mean, that's kind of that's what it's supposed to be, in my opinion.
But I think the ref, like, and I'm just bringing up the ref because we reviewed that one. The ref felt more comfortable in its skin and felt like it was actually making more of a pointed commentary than this was.
I mean, yeah.
The ref was more clever.
It is, 100%. But I guess in a way, it's like...
And it was funnier.
Because the construct of this is still kind of trying to present in this, like, fun Christmas story. But instead of following the good guy character, like the father that's down and out and that's trying to save his family from whatever, like instead of it following like Arnold Schwarzenegger's character or Tim Allen's character, we're following the town drunk and their journey and how Christmas time makes their Grinch heart grow. Yeah. You're staring at me.
I'm looking at you. I just don't think the commentary is really there, because there is no really growth. Because he gets away with it in a Looney Tune way.
Mm-hmm.
The cops are embarrassed that they shot a mall Santa.
Yeah,
who's involved.
But you can't deny the growth. How he's pushing the kid away. He robs the kid. And then the kid comes back, and then he starts helping the kid, and you watch him actually... When the kid gives him the gift, he's sitting there like, oh, fuck, I have feelings for this kid type thing.
Yeah, no, but I feel like also the way it ended, we never got a solid confirmation of the growth is going to stick, because that kind of character is very easly to fall into his...
I don't think they care... Yeah, the growth's definitely not going to stay. He didn't become...
So then it's not growth.
He does... Okay, by growth with not sticking, what do you mean? Like he's not going to never care about anybody ever again?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, because the whole outro to this is that a letter from the hospital.
Yeah, it's an epilogue.
You know what I mean? So,
but I mean, we're not. We're the construct of the movie. We're not worried about the posts, what happens afterwards, until we see the sequel.
Exactly. There is no growth. There's a sequel.
Actually, I read the plot to the sequel, and I kind of want to watch it.
Why? The fuck is it? What is the plot? I gotta look it up.
It's literally 13 years later. It sounds dumb, but I was like, I kind of want to watch it now.
That's what's more crazy about it is how long after they decided.
It's like a very big acknowledgement of the difference of time and what would have happened, where the characters would have gone.
Fueled by cheap whiskey, greed, and hatred, Willie teams up once again with his angry little sidekick Marcus to knock off a Chicago charity on Christmas Eve. Yeah.
Okay, I read the Wikipedia plot beginning of it. Yeah, not just the synopsis.
Oh, okay.
But don't worry about reading it right now.
I'm just looking at the poster.
Derailed.
Well, it's just funny to think too. Yeah, it's like what we were talking about, it being kind of stuck in a time period.
That's really what
this doesn't transfer over to 2016.
Yeah, so I'm also very curious.
Yeah, like that's...
Oh, yeah, his growth. Because that's the only thing, is that... I mean, he has this growth of becoming someone who can care about a kid. He can care about somebody else besides himself. He can. He learned that. That is a learned thing that he might not continue to do, whatever. But it is a learned thing by the end of the film. So he is a changed man. He is a changed person. And... there we go. That's how the movie ends, type thing, But all wrapped up in this very, vulgar, misogynistic, crass reflection of 2003. I can't believe, goddamn, I was in high school. We would say shit like this in high school. I mean, most high schoolers probably say shit like this in general. Maybe not today. I don't know.
I don't know. We both have had the Facebook memory thing pop up of like, do you want to reshare this tweet? No.
Nah.
Fucking don't.
And if I delete, it's going to look sketch.
So we just got to go ahead and pretend like it never happened. I guess we got to start wrapping up soon.
Yeah, we're at 56.
Oh. I gave myself an epiphany about it, and I came into this being like, I never need to rewatch this ever again in my life.
And now you have a new lens to look at it through.
Now I'm going to rewatch it with the idea of looking at it as a depressing, dark comedy about a man who is actively trying to drink himself to death.
That's what it seems like.
That's what it really feels like, is that he doesn't care, and he just wants...
So many scenes of him, like, just drunkenly passing out. And
it's like, yeah, it's...
And like, or on the verge of just like, you know, like just...
Well, it's past the point of no return, because it has really come to this point of the guy just cannot function sober.
Yeah.
Because he's never given himself a chance to. And so I want to, at some point, rewatch it through that lens. Just out of curiosity if that changes anything.
It's depressing. It's sad. That's what I was watching. But it is crazy to think about how in 2003 this like just drunk Santa was a weird kind of like
anti-hero, like you said,
gimmick. You kind of like that's funny. He's the town drunk type. It was
in the Ref.
Yeah, exactly. You see, so it's like, imagine the Ref following that guy. Instead, that's our main character of the entire movie. It's a depressing movie.
You want him farting up the chimney all night? You know.
What about my fucking performance?
Yeah, it was very...
Yeah.
Then Santa won't bring you any presents this year. I'm Santa, you know. Go home, Carl. Call your wife.
All of the like gimmicks with the kid on the lap were just excuses for Billy Bob Thornton to say something mean to a kid.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, that's the thing, is that there's a lot of gimmick in this movie that I think hurts it. That takes away from whatever commentary you're saying that was attempted in it.
Yeah, I just think that it, and that's even the thing too. I just see something in here. You know, like one
of the best scenes in the movie, honestly, is him trying to crack the safe, and the song that's playing, and he's like hitting the hammer, and Marcus is like breaking into other stuff.
He's breaking the mannequin's leg.
Yeah, that's right. Like this, like cutting back. I was like, this is a really well done kind of montage scene. Actually, it's really fun to watch.
It's kind of the Christmas miracle. So you got the safe open.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's even I was thinking when Marcus is getting all
actually,
pissed.
the Christmas miracle is that he didn't die from the cops shooting him.
The Marcus getting all pissed off that he's loaded all the time, and I'm like, the dude probably can't crack the safe if he's sober. Like at this point,
yeah, right.
Like with the level of drinking he does and the amount of times that he's done it drunk, you want him to be loaded to do this. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to figure out what the fuck to do.
Yeah,
he's going to have that. What is that drunk memory thing?
Oh,
I can't remember what it's called. You know what I mean? He's going to start remembering shit when he's drunk. All right. Well, what do you want to give it?
I think in today's age, it's kind of a 2 to me. Really low.
I was going to give it a 1. So if you want to meet in the middle at 1.5.
Wow, really? That
yeah,
low?
I just don't.
I think Billy's performance really
pushes it up.
Yeah, like in a lot of ways, like because I see why the 7 is there for 2003. The 7.0 on IMDb. I see why the 78 is there for Rotten Tomatoes. I see that. Because this movie isn't inherently bad. It's just vulgar and misogynistic. And that necessarily doesn't mean bad, in my opinion, sometimes. For humor. I just realized what I was saying as I said it.
That is the funniest shit. Dude, it's not inherently bad. It's just really racist.
it's like you said, it's not clever with that stuff. With these very risky themes. It's not clever. It's just crass with it. So, and in the early 2000s, the cleverness just wasn't really there, you know? Like, that's, yeah, we'll get into, yeah, anywho. But, again, like, Billy Bob's performance, the story makes sense. The movie itself has a very clear beginning, middle, and end. There was never a part that I was confused at what was going on. They covered, like, all of their bases, really. Like, I think just the biggest thing that hurts it, that brings it down from, at one point, maybe being a 3 for us to a 2, is really just the vulgarity and the crassness of it.
Oh, no. I was going to really fight you on trying to giving it a 3.
Oh, God.
I thought you were going to try and give it a 3. No, it's going to be like, you're out of your fucking mind.
No. At a time, I could see why it would have that. But, no, not anymore.
I'm just kind of trying to look and get a gauge. I mean, maybe because like right here, I'm looking at the old one. Like that we gave Diner a 2.5, which I could also see a problem with Diner and its age and when it came out.
I think I wanted to give Diner a lower score too. I think I
so.
met with you.
Yeah,
2.5 with that.
We gave The Ref a 3.
Clever movie.
Yeah, Better Off Dead. We gave it 2.5.
Well, that's very aged as well.
Yeah. So what did you want to give it? 2.
2.
You want to give it a 2, and
yeah.
I want to give it a 1.5, and we're not doing.
You said you wanted to give it a 1.
Yeah.
And you're like, we can marry it a 1.5, and I kind of wanted to see. I wanted to fight for 2 just to see where you were at.
That's fine, I guess. On record, I think it's a 1. I find very little redeeming in it, except for the. I mean, I could convince myself in the sense of the thing I've said now. This will be like the 3rd time of the Coen brothers lens of I see something in there.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a good basis to bump up a rating, but it's kind of like I think it is because it means there's something. There's a substance in there that you can see. Someone came up with something, and it's not just complete cannon fodder. It's
Yeah.
Something in there that I think, and I do think this movie. I think this movie could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
And way more clever. So if you 2,
Yeah, we can do a 1.5.
no, we can do 2.
No, let's do a 1.5.
Let's do 2.
1.5.
I already agreed to a 2. I agreed to 2 before I started this.
1.5.
2.
1.5.
2 put a 2. Doing 2.
Why are you so stubborn?
Huh? Your face. That's not how you spell carrots.
You just spell a carrot.
Yeah, carrot. Got it, a carrot.
Carrot.
We don't know what we're doing next week, right?
It's one of 2 things.
Oh yeah, couldn't remember the second one. So yeah.
Did you not remember the more adult one, or did you not remember the more family one?
The one.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you for listening. So that was Bad Santa, 2003's Bad Santa. We gave it 2 out of 5 carrots.
1.5.
Thank you for listening. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook. On there, you'll find all of our promos and reels and stuff, just to get an idea of what we do on here. On there is you can find. Just go ahead and click our profile and then our link tree, and that will take you to everywhere we're on. We're on like Apple, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you might listen to your podcasts. And next week will be the last one, right?
Yeah.
The last holiday themed one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're not sure what we're going to confirm that. So just keep an eye out for those posts and you'll see what we have decided on.
Trying to think of actors. I'll name one. You can name one.
Okay.
All right. Florence Pugh.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Florence Pugh to Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Let me write that down.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, everybody. I think that's everything. So yeah, that is the game. Florence Pugh to Cuba Gooding Jr. And this is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
It's
Tommy and Jacob's mixtape. I'm thinking really hard now.
Bye.